All right, another question from Tochigi, a good one, our OBR subscriber. He says, last year we were labeled as a team who missed a lot of tackles, which the Browns did. Steve and I were talking about this question ahead of time. They were 8th in missed tackles in 2020 and then 4th in missed tackles in 2019. And to give you context, 2019, the Browns had 38 missed tackles. The team with the least had 15. So, more than double the amount of missed tackles. So it's a problem. He says, Tachigi says, can you speak on this issue? I guess it's not a function of not enough physical practices, or else every team would be poor tacklers. Does this poor tackling have more to do with lack of talent, or is it a lack of fundamentals, or is it a team attitude? How does the coaching staff go about improving the overall tackling as a team? Steve?
Boy, it's hard to say. I think it's more of I think last year, a lot of it, and you hate to make excuses, but it has to be attributed to just the overwhelming number of injuries and COVID stuff and changing lineups. And this guy wasn't here last week, so I don't know. I don't know him. I don't trust him. I can't, that kind of stuff. That had a lot to do with it this past year. But also, I mean, you got to be honest. There's a few guys on the defense that just have a poor technique, and they always have. And as far as how do you fix it, I mean, there's really only one way. The guys have to take it on themselves to work on it. I mean, it's a skill. It's got to be repetitive and it's got to be in your brain. You don't have to think about it. And the coaching staff, the way they can make it seem important enough is like everything else we've been talking about, the accountability has to go up. You miss X number of tackles in, this amount of time. Sorry, you're riding the pine. Somebody else is going to go in and play your snaps.
I won't sit here and sell you false goods and say they've let go of all the guys that can't tackle and they brought in all these guys who can. But there's no denying that Kevin Johnson, not a great tackler. Anderson Dejo, not a consistent enough tackler for me. Dating back to 2019, Joe Schobert loved him, really loved him, but definitely had missed tackle metrics that weren't always good. Dating back even more there, trying to think of who was in the slot before Kevin Johnson in 2019. Can't think of it off the top of my head, but I just know that in some of it is like guys on this team are not known for tackling. Denzel Ward, not known for tackling. And Greedy Williams, not known for tackling. They've been okay, but not known for it. They have, in my opinion, brought in some guys who should improve this. I think that John Johnson's a phenomenal tackler, consistent tackler. Anthony Walker, consistent tackler. I think he's done really well with that. I think Mac Wilson's role, who has been a missed tackle problem, will be reduced. They have options there to help with that issue. And Larry Ogunjobi, and I love Larry, has not been a consistent tackler along the inside. So could it improve this year? I would not be surprised in the least bit. Steve said it right when he said it's a want to, it's a desire thing. Some guys just are good at it's an innate skill. If you start tackling practice at the earliest stages of football, sometimes way too soon, sometimes way too physical. There are elements to it that you either just get or you don't get. Typically, the guys who never really get it don't make it to this level. Then you get to, once you get to this level, you got to play against some of the most elusive athletes in the entire world, and it's an even tougher challenge. So. I don't think it's like the coaches get a hold of these guys and the tackling just gets better. I just don't think that's a thing. I think it can get better a little bit with some minor tweaks. Hey, we see you don't break down in time. We see you try to just throw a shoulder in these scenarios. If a ball carrier is running left or right, you have a tendency to just throw there's little things, little nuanced things that you can do to help a guy based on tendencies, but you just got to bring in better tacklers. JOK had a little bit of an issue with consistently tackling. I think some of it was just trying to deliver big hits at this 150 miles per hour he played in college. Some of that throttle down stuff needs to get better. But like I said, John Johnson will be fine. I think Grant Delpit will be fine. I would be pretty surprised if they're not a top, I guess it would be a bottom 15 missed tackle team, because that would mean they reduced that number from 38 down into the 20s is what I would think that they're all hoping for this year. So we'll see if the different personnel can help in this department.